Okay, so welcome, Mandy. So this is your interview after taking the SMART training. So SMART, for the benefit of people watching, is Somatic Memory Repatterning Technique, and we call it short, SMART for short. And SMART really is a technique that quickly helps people overcome fears, phobias, limiting beliefs, kind of, and stuck memories and emotions that are attached to those memories that are triggering the nervous system into fight, fight, or freeze. And that holds us back in life all the time in different situations, relationships, career prospects, intimacy, just living a healthy life. And with this SMART technique, we kind of get to the root cause, we find the memories, and then we do a repatterning technique that kind of disassociates the emotional impact with the memory. And when that kind of neuro wiring is not being fired or triggered, the person's free then to go on and live their life the way that they really want to live it. So, Mandy, you were one of my first case studies when I was trialing this technique, and you had a great breakthrough. So, your interview from that is actually on YouTube if people are interested. But let's just take it back from the start. So, first of all, you wanted to be a case study, and that was to work on health issues, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, was it the ME? Because you had a lot.
Yeah, so I have ME and what I wanted to do was see if there was any way that, having tried so many different things that this technique might actually be so well, it might actually lead to a breakthrough. Even just the slightest relief would have been amazing for me, really. So yeah.
But you did have quite a big breakthrough from that session, didn't you? So since then, you've kind of gone, I want to do the training, I want to do the training. And it's great because most people who I did case studies on have gone on to do the training because they're like, oh my God, I want to share this with other people. And you work in that field, you know, you're a practitioner, you're kind of in the healing space, and you thought, okay, I really want to learn this, take the benefits for yourself, but share it with other people. So you've done the training. So how would you describe what the training felt like for you? Because it was such a lovely group that we had.
I think for me it was exciting, really exciting to, I know that for whatever reason it took me a while to book on, like dates didn't line up and stuff like that. Um, and then I think the night before I felt really nervous, because I had this kind of like, it wasn't like I'm nervous, I can't do this, but it was like, oh my gosh, this is exciting, but I'm nervous. And also exciting that I know what the benefits are and I know how powerful it is. So there's this kind of energy in me that wants everybody to experience smart because it is just so impactful. And it's one of those things that, you know, you can see the effect in one session. It is that powerful. So it was a no-brainer really to do the training.
Yeah, and the group that we had, we witnessed an amazing transformation, didn't we, when I was working with one of the participants, and such a powerful breakthrough that that person experienced. It was just such a lovely space. And then you went on to work with that person for a different issue. But
Mhm.
just before we get into that, was there a particular moment throughout the training where like something landed and something dropped in for you?
I think, like we said, because I had already been a case study of SMART, I knew what to expect for myself. But I think there was still an element of, that kind of imposter syndrome of, can
Yeah.
I do this? Am I able to do this and support someone with this? Obviously not me do it because it's their work, but guide them. And so I think for me it was, first off, you know the group was lovely, everyone was quite open and honest, which I think we needed to be. And then obviously seeing your demonstration and seeing somebody else experience it firsthand was like, whoa. But
Mhm.
then for me, I think that kind of moment where something inside me completely shifted was during the kind of practical session where I was working with another person. and we found their memory, which was we rated out of 10 for how much it was affecting them, and it was a 10 out of 10, really painful memory. And by the end of our session, which was a couple of rounds of the technique, when they said, "Oh, it's zero, doesn't I'm I'm not impacted at all by that now," it was like a light bulb, like, whoa. I I just guided them, and they've shifted, and now that doesn't matter for them anymore. So I think for me, it was that, wow. Like,
Oh,
I don't know, like, it almost makes you speechless that
yeah,
that person is then like, "No, that doesn't affect me anymore." It's
it's
And I
incredible.
think because it's so quick and because it works so quickly, it is almost that shock factor of, "This is so powerful."
Yeah, yeah, it's incredible. And just for the sake of people watching when they say, "Well, what are they talking about?" What happens is we locate a memory. So let's say a person might have a fear, a phobia, a real deep-seated limiting belief causing conflict in their brain. They want to do this thing, they want to become this person, they want to achieve this success. There's just something in them that keeps pulling them back and preventing them from having it. And they don't know why they're doing it. They're questioning themselves all the time. They can't figure out a way forward. But when we get to the root cause memory, it's normally a memory that's happened in childhood. It's usually carries a lot of emotion with it. And when we say out of 10, we ask the client, on an emotional impact, how much is this emotionally impacting you? Normally it's a 9 or a 10, because the person could be crying, they can be shaking, they're kind of reactivated in a way when that memory comes back. And it's that memory that is preventing them from having the success or the love or the intimacy or the relationship or the health that they want in their life now as an adult. There's a memory that we locate from, let's say, 3, and it's reactivated, and then we disassociate the memory with the emotions. And when we check in, well, what's the emotional impact of that memory now? What's changed? It's like it goes down to a naught. It's not, they're not bothered by it anymore, but they've carried this wounded part for decades. And it's the thing that's stopping us in our adult life from having everything that we want. It's insane. So the therapy, the treatment works so quickly. One session, you get this massive kind of drop of emotional intensity, and then you can continue the technique and use it as a self-help tool. And you've been amazing doing this by yourself, because one of the things is you just keep doing it, and other things come up, other issues come up. You just do the technique and it releases it. So without going into the details, because it is personal, we don't want the world to know about it. Um, you've told me that you've had a major, like probably one of the biggest breakthroughs with us in a situation that you could have ever imagined, which is just incredible. Can you share what you can share without obviously sharing?
Yeah, yeah. So, I've had an ongoing situation, which has been there actually all of my life, but probably more there since early teens until now. And I think over time it's built up and built up and built up. And so when we did the course, I actually used part of this as my what I was going to work on with my partner, and did some releasing, and just, went from a 10 to a 0. Um, and then what I've done since then is I've continued to work on memories linked to the ongoing situation, and I've just one at a time unpicked them using the SMART technique. So what I actually did was recorded myself saying the visualization to access the memory, because then I wasn't having to try and really think about what I need to be doing at the same time, which sounds really crazy, but it's really helped me.
Yeah.
So I've used that, and for some of the things I only needed to do 1 or 2 rounds of the technique. For other things that there were definitely a lot more, and then I introduced some of the other techniques that we learn on the course for when we get to a point and it's just not moving anymore. um So yeah, and actually the beginning of this week I had a major breakthrough, and yeah, it's nice to, like, it feels a bit surreal because it's not there anymore, but actually at the same time I feel like I found a resolution, and it was the next step of my journey, really. And part of the resolution actually came up during a smart session. Like, I finished doing a smart session, and then I just thought, "Do you know what, actually I need to take this next big step." And I was brave and I did it. And if I'm completely honest, I wish I'd done it years ago, but I think without smart I wouldn't have got there, because I wouldn't have been I've worked through a lot of stuff. I've probably done a smart session probably every other day, maybe, since the course, but it is exhausting. But then also I've not noticed any major flares of my ME symptoms, which I was expecting. I was really expecting to have some kind of backlash, and even after the breakthrough on Monday this week, I was still expecting to have a major flare up, and so far nothing.
That's
But nothing.
incredible.
And so it feels incredible, and it feels, there's been a lot of shifts, like emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and obviously with my symptoms physically. So I just feel like without smart I wouldn't have been able to achieve this. And actually I know that this has been holding me back for years, and now I've found that resolution. I can move forwards. And I think the other thing to say is that like everyday things in life aren't affecting me as much since I've done the training. um and you know what, when they do, I just go and do a smart session because I know it works,
Mhm,
and it gets to the root cause of why I'm feeling like this.
mhm.
So it gets me right to that root cause. I can do do a session, and then I just know that actually, that's a zero now. So I've got rid of the root cause. I mean, it's the root cause is still, it's not still there, but it's, I my body's made sense of it. My body and my brain and everything has made sense of it, and it no longer affects me.
Yeah, so it's almost like it shifts it out of the emotional part of the brain where
Yeah.
everything is just being fired off, all these emotions, nervous system gets reactivated to bringing it to be able to know that that situation was there, and you can you balance it out with more rationale. It's not stuck trapped in the emotional system anymore, getting fired off with all these emotions. You're able to think clearly, you're able to have conversations about it, you're able to ask the truth, and you're able just to be more present. But what is so significant, well, I mean it was major, it's a major breakthrough for you for that to happen, but also to notice that the nervous system is more regulated,
Yeah.
because without having a regulated nervous system, your body would not have allowed you to even broach the subject without probably shutting you down. And you've
Mhm.
been able to deal with the situation, and you've not then gone into fight, flight, and freeze, which is what normally happens to you.
Mhm.
So, in all ways, it's such an all encompassing healing effect that it's had on you. And I know you want to share this with other people. So, how do you see yourself using this with other people?
So, I obviously, not obviously, because people don't know me, but you know me. I have a background in mental health and well-being. I'm a holistic therapist, so I'm very much in that field of people healing. People want to heal, and so I obviously do know about trauma, and I knew, and I am a trauma-informed, I support, I can't even talk. Uh, I work in a trauma-informed way already, but I think there's a difference between knowing about trauma, working in a trauma-informed practice, and actually having the tools to support people. with their trauma,
Mhm.
because that's what this is,
Mhm.
and that's what this supports,
Mhm.
amongst other things, obviously. But I think for me, it's just been such I've had such massive breakthroughs that, when my clients come and talk to me, I already know people. Like, I think the whole of my client list probably would really, like, I think the world would actually benefit from this. So I think for me, yeah, I just think that it's it's about having those conversations. um I don't know off the top of my head. I've got a big list of people that I know I've worked with already, or I currently work with, that I just know this is going to be huge for. I'm quite excited for them. I'm excited to be part of their journey on a deeper level. I'm already part of their journey, but I think being part of their journey on a deeper level and helping people truly come true helping them with their bodies and stuff, truly filing whatever, knowing that that happened, but also knowing they're safe,
Yeah.
um, and just allowing people to have a breakthrough, and allowing, guiding them and supporting them through that,
Mm.
um, in order for them to be able to move forward in their own healing journey. I think it's so important. I just think, as a practitioner as well, it's such a valuable course. I don't think there's anything else. I don't know of anything else out there like it. It's And I think, like, the people that I've had conversations with, they're like, "Oh, is it like this?" And I'm like, "No, it's nothing like that."
I know, yeah,
No,
I hear that.
it's not.
It's
Um,
not, yeah, it's very strange. Yeah, it's a super powerful technique, and once you it feels so confusing at first, but that's what it's designed to do. And however way this was gifted to me, I'm just grateful to be able to kind of like share this with people, because the breakthroughs that, and you were one of them, that we've seen have been life changing. And I love it when people come on the training like you and some of the others, and they absolutely just embody it, like that this is it for them. It's like, oh my god, this works, and I am ready to heal. We've had Chantel, who's healed herself, um PMDD. We've had John, who's really overcome low confidence and self-esteem issues. And the changes that occur within their relationships are profound. And I always think, like, we are changing generational trauma
yeah,
passed down on to our kids and grandkids. We are changing timelines by doing this work. I know it sounds a little bit woo woo and esoteric, and the reason I say it is because when people do the work on themselves, they have life changing conversations with the people that really matter, and that are, living in their shadow, if you like. They have these breakthrough conversations with people that absolutely change the trajectory of their life, and that means that changes the next trajectory, that down on the generational line. So, without being all woo woo about it, we do the healing, that ripple effect does get passed on. So profound.
yeah, absolutely. And I think I've experienced that with this situation that I've been in. Like, I had to have a really difficult conversation that I thought was just going to be completely brushed off, and but even, just doing the inner work, I think that changes, like you say, other people, and it does have a massive ripple effect. Um,
Because their lives change as a result. Your
mm,
life changes as a result. Relationship dynamics change as a result. Your thought pattern and energy and behavior changes because of that change. And then, the consequences follow on from there.
yeah.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see what you do with this work. And thanks again for giving me a time to give this interview. We'll get it shared. But where can people find you if they did want to work with you, Mandy?
So I am on social media. So my handle is at Calm Aura Healing, and then my website is www.calmaurahealing.co.uk. The last thing that I want to say is, if that's okay, is that if you are a practitioner and you are you know, sitting on the fence about whether this training's for you or not. What I will say to you is, if you truly want to make a difference and really want to help yourself and others on their healing journey, this is the only training and the only modality out there like it. There isn't anything else.
Mm,
There is nothing else that can work in one session. So I
mm.
don't know why you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, thanks for saying
And
that.
just believe in yourself that you can, because
Yeah,
you can. You can do it.
yeah. I think it's a really important point is this is so powerful, but the people who like yourself and the others on the training, if they embody it, like that you just got to be ready for it in a way. Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, it helps people in their own lives, whether they want to become practitioners or not, you know, they use it on themselves and it's great. But the ones that really get it because they've been wanting to heal something for so long and they've tried so many different things, and they're like, there's got to be something out there. And like yourselves, probably skeptical. Chantal, skeptical. They're like, I've tried everything, nothing's worked. I'm going to give this a final go. And it works. And they're like,
yeah,
just go at it like a steamroller, which is amazing because then you go on to help so many people because your story of healing within this is so powerful. Like,
yeah.
it's incredible. So thanks again, Monday. I really appreciate it.
Oh, and thank you.
Oh, lots of love to you. I'll speak to you soon, honey. Take care.
Okay, bye.